The Kaprun disaster occurred in Kaprun, Austria. This picturesque winter sports village in the Alps has grown into a bustling tourist destination, with the cable car to the Kitzsteinhorn Glacier as a key attraction. Together with the nearby town of Zell am See, it forms the ski area, Zell am See Kaprun, a popular destination for winter sports enthusiasts. On November 11, 2000, one of the worst tragedies in Austrian history unfolded in the tunnel of the Gletscherbahn cable car. This disaster claimed the lives of 155 people, most of whom were skiers eagerly heading out for a day of fun on the slopes. What began as a promising ski trip quickly turned into a nightmare when a fire broke out in the tunnel. How could this horrifying tragedy happen so suddenly? What issues led to this catastrophe? In this video, we recount the story of that fateful day in Kaprun. This story is a tribute to the victims and their loved ones, and a reminder of the fragility of life. It is November 11, 2000. The winter season is in full swing. At 9 a.m., the train departs with 161 excited passengers looking forward to a day of skiing. After just a few hundred meters, the train enters the tunnel leading to the summit. What should have been a short 10-minute ride quickly turns into uncertainty. The train fails to arrive, the power cuts out, and contact with the conductor is lost. An ominous silence descends and the passengers are left waiting. Roughly 20 minutes later, thick black smoke begins to pour out of the tunnel. A fire breaking out in the tunnel seemed almost unthinkable. The Gletscherbahn was designed without engines or fuel tanks, features typical of conventional trains. Two trains traveling in opposite directions were pulled by a powerful cable system and would pass each other at a switch. After ascending just 20 meters, Thomas Kraus, who was seated in the rear compartment, noticed smoke coming from the control panel in the empty conductor's cabin. The smoke quickly filled the passenger compartment, making the passengers anxious. As the train entered the tunnel, panic set in. As the fire grew, passengers began pounding on the walls of the compartment to alert the conductor. However, the train was not equipped with fire alarms, intercom systems, or emergency brakes, so the conductor could not hear them. Another passenger attempted to call for help using his mobile phone, but there was no reception inside the tunnel. The train continued moving into the darkness. After 4 minutes, approximately 600 meters into the tunnel, the train came to an abrupt stop. Passengers assumed the conductor had noticed the fire and stopped to allow for evacuation, but this was not the case. The doors remained closed. The conductor, unaware of the fire, was puzzled by the sudden halt. The flames had damaged the hydraulic brake lines, causing the brakes to activate automatically. Trapped in a burning train deep within a 3.6-kilometer tunnel, the passengers in the rear compartment desperately searched for a way out. Despite all efforts, there was no way to open the doors. Erwin Goetz, a construction worker, grabbed his ski pole and began frantically smashing the windows. Using all his strength, he managed to crack one window, but relief was short-lived. Behind the broken glass was another layer of acrylic glass. While several passengers succumbed to the toxic fumes, he eventually broke through the window completely, giving others a chance to escape. It took the conductor 4 more minutes to realize what was happening. He contacted the service department for help and was instructed to open all the doors, but shortly afterward, communication was lost and the hydraulic system stopped working. Despite his efforts, the doors remained unresponsive. The smoke rapidly spread to the other compartments, and it was only a matter of time before the fire consumed the entire train. Fortunately, the conductor remained calm. He left his cabin and manually unlocked the doors, giving passengers a chance to escape. To them, it felt like a moment of relief, as though they had narrowly avoided disaster. But one crucial mistake was made. The passengers began climbing upward, unaware that the smoke was also rising. The 30-degree incline of the Kaprun tunnel created a chimney effect, drawing the heat and smoke upward. Fortunately, firefighter Thorsten Gradler was there to warn them. "When you open the chimney, the fire rises, we need to go down. Hold each other's hands, trust me, we must go down." With Thorsten leading the way, 12 passengers managed to pass the burning conductor's cabin and reach a smoke-free zone below the train. The fire burned intensely, and there was a real danger that the tow cable could snap, causing the train to fall on them. Luckily, this did not happen, and the group eventually reached the lower section of the tunnel. They were saved. The remaining 150 people, including the conductor, the death toll rose by 2 more victims. In the train coming from the opposite direction, the conductor and 1 passenger were also unable to escape the smoke and died from suffocation. When smoke from the tunnel reached the Alpen Center, the staff raised the alarm at both the station and the nearby shopping center. In their panic, they left the emergency door open, intensifying the chimney effect in the tunnel. This exacerbated the fire and allowed even more smoke to enter the station. By this time, the Kaprun service department had alerted the local fire brigade. Within 30 minutes, 500 firefighters, 22 helicopters, and 100 rescue vehicles arrived at the scene. Helicopters transported firefighters to the summit, where they quickly entered the tunnel to save anyone still inside. After the evacuation, 4 staff members were found unconscious due to smoke inhalation. Although firefighters managed to rescue all of them, it was too late for 3. By the time emergency services arrived, the train had been completely engulfed in flames. There was no chance for firefighters to reach the other side of the tunnel to rescue additional victims. Fearing the possibility of the tow cable breaking and the train sliding back down, the firefighters decided to halt their rescue efforts. In total, 155 people, including children, lost their lives. The Kaprun tunnel fire was the deadliest accident in Austria since World War II and the first cableway fire in the country's history. The consequences of this tragedy were immense, not only for those directly involved, but also for the community and Austria's tourism industry. The days following the disaster were marked by grief and mourning. Families of the victims, friends, and locals came together to process their loss. Memorials were held, and the entire community grappled with the trauma left by this horrific day. 4 days after the incident, the investigating magistrate in Salzburg appointed expert Anton Moore to examine the event. The Minister of the Interior sent a forensic team from the Austrian KTZ Forensic Center to inspect the scene of the fire. The burnout train offered few clues, so investigators thoroughly examined an identical train. Their conclusions were based on the testimony of Thomas Kraus, who had reported seeing smoke coming from the control panel in the conductor's cabin. Investigators found no engines or fuel tanks, determining that the fire was likely caused by a heater in the cabin. A similar heater from another train was sent to the KTZ laboratories in Vienna. They discovered that the heating element could have come loose, contacting the plastic casing and starting a fire. Oil from the hydraulic system and rubber flooring fueled the fire, which quickly spread throughout the train. The heater, installed during modernizations in 1993, was closely scrutinized. On June 18, 2002, prosecutors began the trial to identify those responsible for the tragedy. The main argument was that the fan heater, designed for domestic use, should never have been installed in the train. The proximity of hydraulic lines and the lack of safety measures were deemed severe negligence. The trial was fraught with controversy and resistance. Expert Anton Moore's detailed report concluded that hydraulic oil had entered the heater and that the proximity of hydraulic lines created a hazardous situation. However, his findings were disregarded. On February 19, 2004, the trial resulted in a shocking verdict. All defendants were acquitted. The judge ruled that the fan heater had been installed according to legal standards and that there was no evidence of oil leaks or inadequate inspections. This sparked outrage among the victims' families and the Austrian public. After the acquittal, the case was handed over to German investigators. They discovered defects in the heater, including a missing mounting dome, suggesting it had been disassembled before installation. Further investigation revealed that hydraulic oil had leaked into the heater, causing the fire. The German investigators accused their Austrian counterparts of carelessness and evidence manipulation. The legal battle continued, but further charges were ultimately dropped due to insufficient evidence. The Austrian government and the management of Gletscherbahnen Kaprun AG did not admit liability, but offered $14.1 million in compensation to the victims' families. However, 80 families continued to fight for justice. In memory of the victims, a monument was unveiled on November 11, 2004, featuring 155 glass pillars, each symbolizing a lost life. This tragedy and the subsequent legal struggles highlight the importance of accountability, safety, and transparency in complex systems like cable railways. Let us ensure this story is never forgotten. Safety and accountability must always be prioritized so that a disaster like this never happens again. Did you find this video interesting? Give it a like and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on new videos about remarkable fire disasters. Also, click the bell icon so you don't miss a single video. What did you think of this story? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in our next video.